scholars, it's Tuesday. Firstly, sorry about last week. Files tend to get corrupted, and that can lead to videos not being put up on the weeks. But we are back this week, and this week we're going to talk about self-improvement and why there is so much self-improvement being talked about and what to do with all of that information. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but the internet is basically all about self-improvement these days, and it seems like every time I look at my Facebook or check out a blog like Lifehacker, there's just like countless bits of information of what I should be doing and what I'm not doing well enough, and just ridiculous amounts of conflicting information. And there's not one that's like, oh, you know what, this is good, but there are better things out there. You should be doing the other things. This is actually pretty bad or just not that useful. Maybe you should look at elsewhere. No, they all say that they're amazing. And every time you choose one, it seems to be something else that comes up the next day that just seems a little bit better. And you're like, do I keep going or do I change it up? So today's question is, how do you choose which thing to do out of all this really great information? Which one do you pick and how do you continue on with it? So I guess what we're asking is, how do we sort out what will work from what won't work? Luckily, we have more information about this than ever before. Performance psychology is basically the science of self-improvement and how to be better and achieve your goals quicker. It's really good to check the science behind the advice that you're taking and looking at their sources and seeing where that information came from. Because some things are, hey, this works, and some things are like, this works because this, and this. And you always go with the one with the explanation that seems to have evidence behind it. In life in general, it's always a really good question to say, how do I know that's true? And that really does count for self-improvement. That's where you get growth. And also, another point is you need to choose the thing that's best for your lifestyle. Some things are really easy to use in your everyday life, and some things are more difficult, and you always want it to be easier for self-improvement. There's no point in thinking, I'm gonna set myself a challenge. It's already kind of a challenge. Don't tempt luck. For example, there's a number of organizational techniques that you can use, and I'm not gonna say that one's better than another, but I use a paper diary because, watch this. And it didn't break. That's a win for me, because I drop things a lot. But if Google Calendars or another organizational tool is good for you, use it. Don't worry so much about the medium or what you're using, worry about the principles behind it and if they're evidence-based. And if you do that, and if those are there, the technique will work for you. So if you look at the evidence and you find out what's good for your lifestyle, you're still going to have a lot of stuff to look through. The internet's just an endless bit of information. There's no denying that. So yeah, still a lot of stuff. So maybe the answer isn't so much what you do, but how you do it. I think a temptation with productivity tools is finding a new technique and going, you know what, that's the solution. I'm going to use that, trying it out for 2 days, and then finding a new technique and trying that out for a few days, and that constant improvement. And while I'm not saying that's a bad idea and that improvement isn't what we're kind of going for, it may not be the most helpful thing for long-term improvement. If you're just changing what you're doing all the time, it's basically a form of procrastination. You're not actually getting things done to reach a goal, you're just changing how you reach the goal. And it can be so consuming doing that you can actually get very little done. In some ways, it doesn't really matter what you do, as long as it's evidence-based and founded on fact and relatively convenient for your lifestyle. What really matters is that you stick to it. Try something for a few months. If it's not working for you at the end of that few months, reflect on it, change what you need to, but try to keep things similar or the same, or use tools that you've already used. And we do this for a few reasons. You'll know that system back to front. You'll have those resources available to call upon, and you won't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. The things that will work and did work in the past will still be there. They'll just kind of be tweaked upon. But also, it gives things a chance to work. Some things take time. New habits need to become intrinsic to your behavior. They need to become automatic. They need to become a part of you for you to really get use out of them. See it as an experiment. You're making an educated guess of what will work. You're trying it out for a period of time, and then you're reflecting on it. And then once you've reflected on it, you can try a new experiment based on the old one. The one thing I know for sure is if you make a plan and you stick with that plan, you are always more likely to get your goals achieved than if you don't. See you next week.